It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Monday morning, Expresso on SABC3. So good to be in your company. Now, of course, there are many moments in life when we need to make a good impression, and sometimes we need a few tips to get us through that tricky situation. Now, we have seen, of course, on Presenter Search on 3, the contestants who have had the time of their lives, and they've had their time to shine as well with presenting. But, of course, you can also have the time to shine in your everyday life with Orbit Gum. And we've got you covered, of course, and if you're wondering what's the best way that you can crack that job interview, we've been talking about it on our social media platforms, then we've got life coach Sandra Albertson right here to help you increase your chances of being asked for that follow-up interview and indeed, of course, securing that final signature on the contract. Great to have you with us, Sandra.
Hi.
So when it comes to preparing yourself as best as you can for that job interview, what are some of the things that you would say are crucial? And of course, there are different kind of working environments that we can consider, but what do you think are the core crucial things to consider?
Well, first you need to really do some research.
Yeah.
You get a job interview, you need to go on a company website, understand what company, what culture that company has, and prepare.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the key to really having all the chances behind you.
Yeah.
When it comes to first impressions, first impressions are critical when it comes to job interviews, and they actually happen within 3 to 7 seconds of meeting someone new.
Wow.
So by then, they already have made an opinion of yourself, of you. So you really want to get that one right.
Yeah, an opinion that could be very difficult to overturn if it were a negative one.
Absolutely.
So upon meeting somebody and that future or potential future employer, you have about 7 seconds to make that first impression. So how do you make a good one?
Well, first, again, we're going back to do your research. Go on the company website and look at the working culture, what kind of culture they have, the working environment, and then dress accordingly.
Yeah, yeah.
So plan your outfit, make sure you look professional, you are well groomed, nails, shoes.
Of course.
And in doubt, rather overdress than underdress.
All right.
But one of the things when it comes to interview, always remember, you want them to remember you for what you have to say about yourself, not what you were wearing during the interview.
Okay.
Okay.
Very true, very true.
Absolutely.
One of the most common questions you might get at an interview is to highlight your weaknesses. So what are you not good at? How do you answer that question in order to highlight those, but also not blow them up to such an extent that your future employer might think, oh, maybe this person is not a good hire?
Well, that's actually one of the most common questions, probably one of the top 10 questions that you will have to answer during a job interview.
Yeah.
And one of the most dreaded ones as well. People don't like talking about their weaknesses.
Yes.
What that question really means, what the interviewer really is trying to gauge here is your sense of self-awareness.
Yeah.
How do you know yourself? How well do you know yourself? So a couple of tips on that one. One, make sure that the weakness that you are going to pick is not something that is very relevant to the job you're applying to. So, for example, if you're applying for an accountancy type of role, don't go and say, I'm not very good with numbers. Probably not a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. So make sure that it's something that is not too applicable to the job, and show the interviewer that you have noticed that you've got an area to improve on.
Yes.
And talk about what you did, the steps you took to actually overcome it.
Wow,
okay. And the impact it had afterwards on your job.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't go and use strengths. You know, some people will go for the cliche, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Well, they'll see right through you when you say that. Just don't go there. Really try to plan for it. The great thing about those kind of questions is you know you're going to have to answer them at some point.
Yes.
So plan for them, you know. It's actually an opportunity to know what you are going to say.
Absolutely. And then another one that you might get is, why should we hire you?
And
that's
another,
always
another dreaded one.
Yeah, that you could completely ruin your interview by maybe over-answering it. But how do you make sure that you allow yourself the time to shine in that spotlight, but doing it in a way that I think still creates a good impression?
Absolutely. I'm not sure you can oversell yourself on that one, so long as you can back up your statements with examples, then I think you'll be fine. But again, it's about planning, planning, planning.
Yeah.
The best way to do it with this one is to take the job description, pick 3 key areas that they are looking for, and then correlate with your expertise and your skills, and talk about them, you know, and make them understand that this is my unique selling proposition to you.
Yes.
This is what makes me unique versus the other 10 candidates that you are going to be interviewing. And really sell yourself. It's almost like closing the deal here. Yeah?
And then finally, what would you say is your number 1 tip, that essential tip for cracking that interview?
I think you need to remember you're not the only one being interviewed. So yes, you've made it to the top 10 candidates.
Yeah.
So great, you know, it's a great achievement, but now it's your time to close the deal,
Yeah.
you know. Really prepare, 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 and practice. The more you practice, the more confident you're going to be, and the more chances you will have to actually get that job.
Absolutely. Well, Sandra, thank you very much for those
Pleasure.
very valuable tips. We really do appreciate it. And of course, it is your time to step into the limelight and to really put your best foot forward. It's your time to shine with Orbit Gum. And remember that to watch Presenter Search on 3, the Expresso edition, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3, where you'll be able to see contestants from Johannesburg take the spotlight this week. And let's see who we might find to join the Expresso family.
It's your time to shine with Presenter Search on 3 and Orbit Gum.